guys, Dandelion Song here. So I'm reading the key again, and I've introduced this to you before, so there's another video if you want to read the first back to the books, or listen to the first back to the books about this. But I was reading this part, and I thought that I would show it to you. It's a little dark in here. So the intro to this book is that this is a book by Whitley Strieber, and he receives a visitor in his hotel room June 6, 1998. And the way he described it, it sounds like it's a guide from his childhood. And so there are really a lot of interesting things that he says in here. But so here the guide talks about compassion. So the italics is Whitley's question, and then the regular print is the guide's answer. So he says, how should we be compassionate, say, towards Hitler? In a culture of compassion, Hitler would never have emerged as a leader. Those around him would have seen his suffering and alleviated it while he was still young. Compassion emerges out of love of one for all. It is active and it has the courage to intervene. A culture of blame is passive. It waits and then slaps. When the culture of blame punished the Germans for World War I, it evoked the monster that had kept you bound to the earth at the time when you need to be born into a higher world. All you need to know of compassion was already laid down in the Christian Gospels. Now you have evolved to the point that you can enact this training. What is the most important thing Christ said? Do unto others? That was first said in the Western traditions by Rabbi Hillel. The most important thing that Christ said was, be as the lilies of the field. It is the message for the next millennium. You are going to return to the wild bearing the wisdom of history in your memories. Your surrender to earth will be your ascension to heaven. How do we surrender so completely? If a robber shoots you in the head, God shoots you in the head. Forgiveness is not an act, it's a state of being. That was so shocking, that's what I thought I would read to you. What is prayer? A lost science of communication. This planet was once covered by a gigantic instrument of communication and ascension. Tones were important to inducing a correct flow of energy in the bodies of creatures. The ringing of the Egyptian obelisks was set to the correct frequency. Using this instrument, human beings could project themselves into higher worlds, what you call interstellar space, but also higher space. All the ruins you see and consider as entirely separate from one another were actually part of a single great machine. See, this is what I wanted to read to you. Okay. This was a subtle machine. It did things far more sublime than any of your current machines. It was the machinery of God. This machine, it was the machinery of God. A machinery of God, this machine. It was very intelligent and fused with many souls. It could be addressed, programmed, if you will, with carefully patterned groups of words. These formula became ritualized among the ignorant as prayers and magical formula, for they assumed that the machine must be the God of those who addressed it. They tried to do the same in the hope that it would grant them some benefit. However, the language of the machine was the language of nature, for the machine was not separate from nature. So, this is interesting because this ties together with Anunnaki history, because they talk in the ancient Sumerian texts about machines that you could talk to heaven with. And it sounds like this is the first time I've heard anything like that outside of a fiction book. Was it a conscious machine? An intelligent machine? There has never been a conscious machine here. What does the word machine mean to you? Define it. A machine is an organ that cannot vary its basic instructions. What is intelligence? Intelligence is the ability to correlate data taken to the infinite. To save yourselves, you must learn to build machines that are more intelligent than you are. You will do this, and when you do, you will discover the difference between intelligence and consciousness, which is, intelligence is the manipulator of knowledge, while consciousness knows itself. Even the simplest creature is somewhat conscious, and many creatures with lesser intelligence are far more conscious than man. But those with sufficiently complex and flexible brain structures are also intelligent. We must first speak of machine intelligence and then of machine consciousness. Could we develop machines more intelligent than ourselves? You are lagging in this area. You cannot understand how to create machines with enough memory density and the independent ability to correlate that is essential to the emergence of the intelligence. You waste your time trying to create programs that simulate intelligence without very large scale memory in an infinitely flexible system, and this will never happen. Any specific design suggestions? Gas is an important component to consider in the construction of intelligent machines. Nitrous oxide will bear memory. Also, you may find ways of using superposition in very fast, variable quantum memory chips. Would an intelligent machine be conscious in the sense of having self-awareness? Okay, so anyway, he goes on about machines here. We'll lose control of such a machine. Most certainly, but you cannot survive without it. An intelligent machine will be an essential tool when rapid climate fluctuation sets in. Your survival will depend upon predictive modeling more accurate than your intelligence, given the damage it is sustained can achieve. But machine intelligence might be very dangerous, very. And then they talk about a machine gaining intelligence without us realizing, and I guess that our movies are about that. Could such a machine create itself without our realizing that it's intelligent? It's possible. And would it keep itself hidden? Certainly. Okay, so they talk about intelligent machines similar. Oh yeah, they talk about, I missed a part that I wanted to show you. They talk about human souls being harvested for machines. Okay, here we go. Alright, so it says by duplicating, okay, so here's the question. You say we need machines more intelligent than we are, but that they'll also become conscious and then turn on us. Is there a way out of this dilemma? There is more than one sort of conscious machine. By duplicating the attachments between the elemental and energetic bodies that occur in nature in a purpose-designed machine, a controllable conscious machine can be devised. A living soul attached to the machine will be conscious, but only able to express itself in the physical or sense the physical according to the limitations of the machine's design. In this way, you gain the advantage that the consciousness confers on a machine without the danger of its becoming excessively intelligent. A perfect slave can be created, a robot that carries out its programmed instructions with empathy, purpose, and precision, and the soul can be kept in it indefinitely. So that's kind of spooky. Alright, that's horrifying. Let's see. Human souls have been harvested for this purpose for thousands of years. By whom? By whomever wishes to and can. Until mankind establishes its own place in the cosmos, there will always be those who use you like cattle. Use us how? They envy your bodies and seek to displace you. How can we defend ourselves? Not admitting their presence will work for a while, but in the end you will admit it. What happens then? By then you will have perfected techniques like mass prayer. If a human being prays, a voice is raised, but 1,000,000 human beings make even a greater voice. And if all the world was to pray in the same hour, the whole universe would hear you. But remember this, in that terrible hour you will be greatly afraid, and it will be difficult for one voice to be raised, let alone billions. Between now and then, mass prayer can be used to change the world. It isn't necessary to pray the same words or to the same God, but only to raise your voices together. There is a music, then, in the world of the soul, a fine music. That's right. These beings, though they hunt you, body and soul. How do they get our souls? Soul traps. The lures are the lusts and hungers of life. The dead man exploring the newfound freedom of the energetic world finds himself able to visit his friends and enemies, to see their innermost being and thoughts, even to converse with them in ways that their elemental selves cannot perceive. He is in danger, but he does not know it, for he has not ascended. He is still ensnared by his lust. Soon he will be shown something that perfectly fulfills his most hidden and cherished desires he has never fulfilled. Unable to resist the chance to do so at last, he enters by a golden door into eternal captivity. Then it's worthwhile to try to defeat desire in life? It's been tried. Best to take your sense of humor with you. If you go down that road, remember God laughs and plays, Whitley. The Meister Eckhart. How did you know I was interested in that? I read over shoulders, child. A bad habit of mine. God laughed, and his laughter begat the Son, and their laughter begat the Spirit. And out of the laughter of the three poured the creation. Laughter is the key to everything. It is far more powerful than prayer, than meditation. It is the stuff of which the world is created. Find laughter and find God. Are there other ways to exploit souls? The energetic world is much larger, vastly more ancient, and more complex than the elemental one. It teems with many beings, many of them immeasurably conscious and invested across the whole sweep of time and beyond time. It is enormous beyond measure, stretching across all time and space, including not only this universe, but many other universes. You mean galaxies? There are more galaxies in your universe than there are stars in your galaxy, and more universes in the firmament than there are galaxies in your universe. There will come a day when mankind will learn to detect universes beyond, but most are so far away that their light has not yet reached your universe, since the day of its inception. Why are universes created? Being serves joy. Alright, so anyway, I wanted to read those parts to you. I hope you liked that. I will leave a link for this book. And anyway, alright. Love you guys. Talk to you later.